Hey, what's up? This is Brittany. I am coming at you. I'm not much of a YouTuber, or, you know, that way. I'm not much of a YouTuber, but I just feel like I need to get this information out there to anyone who is preparing to do the CBEST test. So I have some pros and cons on doing the online proctor CBEST test at home. So here's some pros. You get to stay in your pajamas. You get to save gas. You don't have to worry about taking the extra time to drive to the location. And so it's a big gas saver in that and time saver. You don't have to wear a mask and you don't have any contact with anybody physically through the test. So if you're really worried about that, those categories, online proctoring can be for you to do at home. Some major cons, this is why I wanted to do the video, because it threw me by surprise. So when doing the math, there was one problem while doing math. But let me go over some more cons of that. So the process of logging in, signing in, takes some time. So that's probably why they want you to log in 30 minutes before the actual test. So with that, sometimes you may prepare to only take an hour test, and it actually is longer. It ended up being 3 hours for me, and I'm like, whoa. So the process, here's some things to know about the process. It's not really all a con, it's just some little more steps you have to do when you're doing it at home that are very strict on how you're doing it, because they don't, ultimately they don't trust you to not to cheat, I assume. So here's a few things on my experience when I was doing it. I did the math test first. I like math. I thought I can do it. And I did do it. But the process, they will make you take pictures of all around your testing area. They do mention that. So that is one thing you have to make sure you have, is a quiet testing area where there's no distractions. All the monitors, if you're in a computer room or office and you're using your laptop, you need to cover the monitor. And one big con, that may not even be your fault, is if somebody walks into your testing site, they will cancel your test out completely. You won't even get a refund. That's it. So that was something you have to be very cautious with, especially when you have a 2-year-old or toddler or kids, and you're doing this at home, or you live with family. You got to inform them and let them know, like, look, I'm doing this test, no interruptions, and make sure you have your kids somewhere else is the best option. You will be, a proctor will come in and talk to you before the test as part of the logging in. So I actually, for my reading test, I did it at really early in the morning. I think it was 7 in the morning. I had to be there, but I had to be there by 6:45 to log in, and there was no one to come in and sign me in or check my desk. I just did the pictures. But for the math one, I did around 1. They had me actually turn my whole screen around and have him see a visual view of everything. And then once I went through those processes, that's when they told me the bad news. When you do online proctoring, you're not allowed to use your own scratch paper. Me having test anxiety and not being prepared for that, I was super upset. Not necessarily mad, just stressed above the roof. Because if you're like me and you do math and you need to write it down to gather your thoughts to help through the test, don't do the math test at home. If you are someone who can do math easily in their head, big numbers, go for it. You can probably do it, but you're not allowed to have scratch paper of your own with a pencil. What they provide for you is an I forgot what they call it, but it's digital scratch paper. And it's not like you could write with a digital pen. They don't allow that. It is strictly like a Word document. That's essentially what it is, or your simple notepad in your computer. That's what they use. That's what they give you. I think because they don't want you to have any answers written down on a piece of paper without at home. So that's what they give you, and that is super difficult to do. Or it takes more time to do it because it's just like Word document. Try to do a simple math problem with big numbers on Word document and see how you do, because that took up a lot of my time. So there was a lot of them I had to guess because I was running out of time. So that was a big thing. That was the big news. That if you are like me and you need a scratch paper to write down your math problems, to gather your thoughts, to do the problem, don't do online proctoring at home for math. Reading, it was not a problem at all. You don't need scratch paper for reading usually. So here's a few things to know. Super important. You can't talk. You still can't talk. You can't lip. You can't even lip. So you can't even move your lips to read a problem. And the proctor, if they're there, they will tell you, they will call you out on it and remind you to not talk during the test. They will go over your computer and and make sure your computer is adaptable. So you would have to have your video, you would have to have the speaker working, and you cannot have any apps open while you're doing the test. And they have a really convenient thing where it's easy to test it to make sure it works. Super, super easy. Those are some extra important things to do or to know. And that's it, guys. I'm going through the process in California right now to get my teaching credential. I'm in the process of applying for a master's and teaching credential. I would love to keep giving updates on my process. But it's my first video, and I just felt like it was something I needed to put out there because I hear a lot of questions about the math and online proctoring. So I'm hoping this will help. If you like it please. If you want to see other videos, I may or may not have more videos, but you can subscribe and definitely share it to people who are preparing for the online proctoring. The biggest thing with math, like I said, you will not be able to have your own physical scratch paper and pencil. Big thing. I see a lot of people getting disappointed on that. So that's the big emphasis on this. To prepare others so they don't waste their time, don't waste their money, and yeah, share to your friends if they need to know that. Thank you guys. I appreciate you watching, and maybe next time. Bye.